Have you ever wondered why legendary rock stars from the 1970s and 1990s, who once stood at the pinnacle of fame, have suddenly disappeared without a trace? These were names that once defined an era, yet today, their health has deteriorated, and their appearances have changed so drastically that they're almost unrecognizable. Behind the glitz and glamour lies a world of mystery and pain, long battles with illness, the relentless cycle of the industry, and the inevitable toll of time slowly breaking them down in silence. Can you guess who they are and what they're going through now? Join us as we uncover the stories of 60 legendary rock stars who once ruled the stage, revealing the heartbreaking reality of those we once believed would remain immortal in our memories. One, Mick Jagger, The Rolling Stones. Do you still remember Mick Jagger's legendary hip shakes? Start Me Up and I Can't Get No Satisfaction remain timeless classics. At 80, Mick still maintains incredible stamina by running daily, practicing yoga, and following a strict diet. He has 8 children and continues to date models nearly 40 years younger than him. 2. Freddie Mercury, Queen. When people think of Queen, they immediately recall Live Aid 1985, the legendary performance where Freddie Mercury had 72,000 fans singing along to Bohemian Rhapsody. But few know that in his final days, Freddie refused strong painkillers just to keep his voice intact. He passed away quietly in 1991 at the age of 45, leaving his entire fortune to Mary Austin, the woman he once called his wife despite never marrying her. 3. Keith Richards, The Rolling Stones. If anyone defines immortality in rock, it's Keith Richards. Do Jumpin' Jack Flash and Painted Black still resonate with you? Keith has been called the survivor of rock, having overcome decades of substance abuse and still standing strong. Yet, at 80, he has chosen a more peaceful life, sipping wine and keeping his daily habit of playing guitar. 4. Jimmy Page, Led Zeppelin. Stairway to Heaven is considered one of the greatest rock songs of all time, and Jimmy Page's electrifying guitar style is legendary. Now, at 80, he lives a quiet life in England, immersing himself in his research on Egyptian culture. 5. Robert Plant, Led Zeppelin. Robert Plant's powerful voice and wild stage presence made Whole Lotta Love an iconic rock anthem. But few know that he once turned down $200 million for a Led Zeppelin reunion tour. Now, at 75, he enjoys folk rock and lives a peaceful, low-key life. 6. David Gilmour, Pink Floyd. Do you still remember David Gilmour's epic guitar solo in Comfortably Numb? That moment felt like a storm washing away all worries. Now, at 78, he has chosen a quiet life in the English countryside, raising livestock and focusing on environmental conservation. 7. Roger Waters, Pink Floyd. Pink Floyd fans will never forget Another Brick in the Wall. Roger Waters crafted songs filled with deep messages about society and war. At 80, he continues to perform and isn't afraid to express his controversial political views. 8. Brian May, Queen. Beyond his legendary guitar riffs in We Will Rock You, Brian May is also a real-life astrophysicist. Now 76, he still makes music but dedicates much of his time to studying the universe. 9. Ozzy Osbourne, Black Sabbath. The godfather of heavy metal once shocked the world by biting the head off a bat on stage. Now 75, Ozzy is battling Parkinson's disease but has never given up on music. 10. Sammy Hagar, Van Halen. Replacing David Lee Roth was no easy feat, but Sammy Hagar pulled it off with Why Can't This Be Love? At 76, he enjoys a luxurious life, largely thanks to his successful tequila business ventures. 11. Nikki Sixx, Motley Crue. As the heart and soul of Motley Crue, Nikki Sixx had multiple near-death experiences due to drug abuse. Now 65, he has left his wild past behind and embraced a more peaceful life. 12. Tony Iommi, Black Sabbath. The master of heavy metal riffs, Tony Iommi revolutionized rock history with Iron Man and Paranoid. At 76, he continues to compose music and mentor young artists. 13. Axl Rose, Guns N' Roses. Axl Rose's raw energy and high-pitched vocals made Sweet Child O' Mine a rock anthem. However, at 62, his once chiseled physique has given way to a heavier build and a more subdued fashion sense. 14. Steven Tyler, Aerosmith. Steven Tyler's voice and stage presence made Dream On and I Don't Want to Miss a Thing legendary rock ballads. At 75, he still rocks eccentric outfits and brings explosive energy to the stage. 15. John Bon Jovi, Bon Jovi. Once the poster boy of romantic rock with Livin' on a Prayer, John Bon Jovi has now reached 62. He continues to write music, do charity work, and remains one of the cleanest living rockers of his generation. 16. Eddie Van Halen, Van Halen. Eddie Van Halen's mind-blowing tapping technique took rock guitar to a whole new level. Though he passed away in 2020 at 65, his musical legacy lives on forever. 17. Joe Perry, Aerosmith. The man behind Aerosmith's powerful guitar sound. At 73, Joe Perry remains committed to rock and roll and has no plans to retire. 18. David Lee Roth, Van Halen. The energetic frontman of Jump helped Van Halen become a phenomenon. Now 69, he is still known for his humorous and often shocking statements. 19. Malcolm Young, AC/DC. Malcolm Young's solid rhythm guitar was the backbone of AC/DC's signature sound. Sadly, he passed away in 2017 at the age of 64 after battling chronic heart disease. 20. Vince Neil, Motley Crue. From the wild frontman of Dr. Feelgood to a 63-year-old dealing with personal struggles, Vince Neil's life has been full of ups and downs. On February 10, 2025, his private jet had an accident at Scottsdale Airport, Arizona, but fortunately, there were no major casualties. 21. Slash, Guns N' Roses. The wild curly hair, the iconic top hat, and the legendary Gibson Les Paul, Slash became a rock symbol with his legendary solos. At 58, he still performs regularly and has kept his rock star image intact. 22. Lemmy Kilmister, Motorhead. The man with the raspy voice and roaring bass gave us Ace of Spades. He lived and breathed rock and roll until his final days, passing away in 2015 at the age of 70. 23. Sting, The Police. The melodies of Every Breath You Take once tugged at millions of hearts. Now, at 72, Sting remains in great shape thanks to his healthy lifestyle and passion for yoga. 24. Angus Young, AC/DC. His schoolboy uniform and electrifying stage moves have become an unforgettable image in rock history. At 68, Angus Young still brings the same raw energy to every tour. 25. Tommy Lee, Motley Crue. A technically skilled drummer with a scandalous personal life, Tommy Lee, now 61, continues to stir up attention on social media. 26. Bret Michaels, Poison. Every rose has its thorn melted countless hearts. Now, at 61, Bret Michaels still performs and keeps the glam rock spirit alive. 27. Sebastian Bach, Skid Row. With his flowing blonde hair and high-pitched vocals, Sebastian Bach was the face of hard rock. At 56, he still carries the same fiery passion as before. 28. Dee Snider, Twisted Sister. We're Not Gonna Take It became an anthem for an entire generation. Now, at 69, Dee Snider remains outspoken on political issues. 29. Phil Collins, Genesis. In the Air Tonight still sends chills down spines after all these years. However, at 73, Phil Collins is battling health issues and can no longer play the drums as he once did. 30. Vince Clarke, Depeche Mode. As one of the founding members of Depeche Mode, Vince Clarke later shifted to Erasure and became a synth-pop icon. Few know that he left Depeche Mode after just one album due to creative differences, leaving behind a massive musical legacy but never returning to the band. Now, at 63, he has stepped away from the entertainment industry, choosing a quiet life. 31. Gene Simmons, Kiss. The man with Kiss's legendary long tongue is still rocking. At 74, Gene Simmons remains active in the music business and frequently appears on television. 32. Paul Stanley, Kiss. As Kiss's frontman, Paul Stanley set the stage on fire with I Was Made for Lovin' You. At 72, he still embodies the rock and roll lifestyle but now focuses more on painting and family. 33. Bon Scott, AC/DC. The man who drove the world wild with Highway to Hell. Sadly, he left us too soon, passing away at 33 in 1980, but his legend remains immortal. 34. Lou Gramm, Foreigner. I Want to Know What Love Is was a song that touched millions. But Lou Gramm faced a brain tumor, which interrupted his career. Now, at 73, he has chosen a peaceful life away from the spotlight. 35. Steve Perry, Journey. The golden voice behind Don't Stop Believin' is still recognized as one of rock's greatest. Now 75, Steve Perry has stepped away from the stage and prefers a private life. 36. Brian Johnson, AC/DC. After taking over from Bon Scott, Brian Johnson made history with Back in Black. At 76, he's still rocking with AC/DC and has no plans to retire. 37. Billy Idol. From his platinum blonde hair to the fiery vocals of White Wedding, Billy Idol still keeps his rock star image intact at 68. 38. Joan Jett. I Love Rock and Roll was an anthem for an entire generation. Now 65, Joan Jett remains a rock icon and a symbol of female empowerment in music. 39. Alice Cooper. His eerie stage presence, powerful voice, and theatrical performances made Alice Cooper unforgettable. At 76, he's still rocking with the same rebellious energy. 40. Bruce Dickinson, Iron Maiden. As the powerhouse vocalist of Iron Maiden, Bruce Dickinson is not just a rock legend, but also a certified pilot. At 65, he continues touring and even flies the band's private jet. 41. Dave Gahan, Depeche Mode. Having battled addiction and near-death experiences, Dave Gahan remains a force to be reckoned with. At 61, he continues to dominate stages worldwide with Depeche Mode. 42. Billy Gibbons, ZZ Top. The cowboy hat, the signature long beard, and that blues rock sound, Billy Gibbons is a legend. Now 74, he's still writing music and performing non-stop. 43. Dusty Hill, ZZ Top. As the steady force on bass for ZZ Top, Dusty Hill played with a calm but fiery energy. He passed away in 2021 at the age of 72, leaving behind an enduring musical legacy. 44. Frank Beard, ZZ Top. The only member of ZZ Top without a beard, Frank Beard helped shape the band's classic hits from behind the drum kit. At 74, he still performs but keeps a more private lifestyle. 45. Rick Nielsen, Cheap Trick. With his star-shaped guitar and energetic performances, Rick Nielsen became a rock icon. At 75, he still rocks the stage with Cheap Trick. 46. Robin Zander, Cheap Trick. The voice behind I Want You to Want Me still holds its charm. Now 71, Robin Zander continues to tour, bringing Cheap Trick's music to new generations. 47. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Free Fallin' was the soundtrack of an entire generation. Sadly, Tom Petty passed away in 2017 at the age of 66 due to a heart attack, leaving behind countless timeless hits. 48. Jeff Lynne, Electric Light Orchestra. The mastermind behind Electric Light Orchestra, Jeff Lynne seamlessly blended rock with orchestral music. Now 76, he continues to write and produce music. 49. Paul Rodgers, Bad Company. The soulful voice behind Feel Like Making Love cemented Paul Rodgers as one of rock's greats. At 74, he still performs and is recognized as one of the best rock vocalists of all time. 50. Neil Schon, Journey. The man behind Journey's emotional guitar solos has never lost his passion for music. At 70, Neil Schon is still performing and writing songs. 51. And Wilson, Heart. Her powerful voice in Alone made Ann Wilson one of the greatest female rock singers. At 73, she still tours and inspires a new generation. 52. Nancy Wilson, Heart. Beyond her incredible guitar skills, Nancy Wilson is also a gifted songwriter. Now 70, she continues to perform and create music. 53. Tommy Shaw, Sticks. The magic of Come Sail Away still lingers in his voice. At 70, Tommy Shaw continues to perform with Styx and also releases solo music. 54. Dennis DeYoung, Styx. As the creative force behind Styx, Dennis DeYoung crafted some of the most memorable rock ballads. At 77, he enjoys a quiet life but occasionally releases new music. 55. Joe Elliott, Def Leppard. Pour Some Sugar on Me remains one of rock's most iconic anthems. At 64, Joe Elliott is still passionate about music and continues to tour with Def Leppard. 56. Phil Collen, Def Leppard. With his technical guitar playing and sculpted physique, Phil Collen stands out. At 66, he maintains a strict fitness routine and keeps writing music. 57. Richie Sambora, Bon Jovi. When people think of Bon Jovi, they immediately remember the iconic riffs from Livin' on a Prayer or Wanted Dead or Alive, where Richie Sambora's guitar defined the sound of a generation. But what many don't know is that in 2013, he left the band at the height of their success to spend more time with his family, especially his daughter. Even though he's no longer part of Bon Jovi, Richie has continued his solo career and remains one of the most respected guitarists in rock. Now, at 65, he lives a quieter life but has never let go of his passion for music. 58. David Coverdale, Whitesnake. His voice on Here I Go Again has remained powerful over the years. At 72, David Coverdale still dedicates himself to writing and performing. 59. Ian Gillan, Deep Purple. Smoke on the Water turned Ian Gillan into a rock legend. Now 78, he still tours and maintains his powerful vocals. 60. Ritchie Blackmore, Deep Purple, Rainbow. From the legendary riffs of Highway Star to his solo career, Ritchie Blackmore has never stopped creating. However, what many don't know is that he left rock behind to focus on medieval folk music, a shift that sparked controversy among fans. At 78, he's still on his musical journey, but in a completely different direction. The legendary rock stars who once lit up the music world now face life's toughest battles. From the heights of fame to the quiet struggles of today, their stories are not just reminders of human fragility, but also powerful testaments to resilience. 60 names, 60 lives, each leaving an unforgettable mark on us. Who among them stands out the most to you? Share your thoughts in the comments below and help us keep the memories of these immortal legends alive.